guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I filmed one of my favorite videos to film for you guys. We did a full face of first impressions and it came out subpar. There's some really good products in here and then ones that we do not love. But if you guys are interested to see what products I use to come up with this look, then make sure to keep on watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. And if you're in the mood to binge watch, I have tons of these full face of first impressions, testing new makeup in a playlist that I will link right up here. I always forget which side it's on. And then if you are also a binge watcher, I do have all my playlists linked down in the description box for you guys. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Alrighty guys, we have so many new products. I don't know how to control myself right now. We're really gonna start off really brave right here because we're actually gonna be trying a new technique with my eyebrows. I'm going to do like the glued brow. I'm gonna stick them down a little bit because I have a lot of hairs that tend to fly away right up here. I really don't like setting them afterwards because usually after I have them done, that's how I like them. They're perfect. I don't want to touch them. So I thought maybe doing like setting them before. I am going to be using this new Anastasia Brow Freeze Brow Styling Wax. All of these products were mentioned in my Sephora VIB sale. You know they have like the disposable little spoolies. I might end up buying those because I just feel like these would get so dirty so quickly. I'm gonna start off with a little bit. Oh, it kind of has like a cooling feeling. I wasn't sure how it would feel. The first thing I do when I do my brows is I get the initial shape of my natural brows. And then that kind of helps me visualize in my head where I need to place product. And then you can kind of see like the shape that you're working with. And it also kind of makes my brow hairs look a little bit more realistic. And oh my gosh, you guys, you do not need a lot because I just dipped into this once for both brows. My problem is when I spoolie them, sometimes I'll have the perfect shape and then hairs will move. So then I have to do it again versus this. However I spoolie these is how they're gonna stay, see? They're not moving or anything like that. I've heard a lot of people say that they like the got to be glue for your hair for your eyebrows, so maybe I'll have to try that. But I like this. It doesn't feel heavy. I've honestly never tried anything like this, so I'm not sure what it's supposed to feel like. I'm really curious to see how this is gonna do with other products. If you look at them, they look a little bit more lifelike than what they usually would. I'm gonna go ahead and use a brow pencil now. This is from the brand Charlotte Tilbury, and it is their Brow Cheat Micro Precision Brow Pencil, and I got the color Black Brown. This is the nicest component I have ever seen for a brow pencil. It feels really nice and really sturdy. The actual applicator is in the shape of a triangle. Like put it out a little bit more, I'll be able to show you guys what I mean. Like it's a triangle shape. Usually I would outline my brows with a pencil and then fill them in with a pomade, but I don't have a new pomade. I'm gonna outline them and fill them in with my pencil. I'm really not pressing hard at all. My brows feel sticky, if that makes sense. Whenever I apply my product, I like to kind of spoolie it out to make it look a little bit more natural. I did get a little bit of resistance, and I think that's actually from the brow wax. It's easy to apply and you really don't have to press very hard. This is what this eyebrow looks like before it's cleaned up. It's a little muddy over there because I was trying to fill that part of my eyebrow in. It looks like the wax kind of balled up a little bit in certain areas. Like there's little white crystal spots. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? It just looks really waxy. Oh, I don't know if I like this. And see, I'm like really having to drag. It keeps your brows in place. I'm not gonna say that it's the wax's fault because I've never tried anything like it, so I probably just need to like try it a couple more times. It makes my brows even look kind of more sparse right up here because it sticks your hair down. I'm gonna go ahead and take these brows off because I really wanna see how this does on its own. So I'm gonna redo them real fast and then I'll be back. I went ahead and carved out my brows using this Benefit BOI-ING Industrial Strength Concealer. This is not a new product, but I really have been loving it to carve out my brows. It's like my perfect shade, so it gives me like a really nice, natural, clean brow. I'm really happy with how the brows look today. I'm gonna go ahead and disappear again because I'm going to go ahead and do one eye off camera for eyeshadow, and then I'll show you guys like the whole process on another eye. This is what the first eye looks like. I even added in some winged eyeliner. It looks a little muddy over here because I put my wing too low and it made my eyes like droop. So I kind of tried to wipe it off and redo the wing. So hopefully this side will come out a little bit better. And if they're a little bit uneven, it's all right. So I just wanted to let you guys know because you guys can kind of see where there's eyeshadow missing over there. To achieve this look, I used these e.l.f. Line and Define eye tapes. And what I do, that way you can use one strip, cut the strip in half. When I go to peel it off, I only get half the strip. So you see the other half of the strip is right there. The best way that I can describe to kind of make your wing uplifted and kind of follow the shape of your eye, follow this line right here at the very end. So you're gonna go like up, 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 up. And it's a little bit harder if you have eyelash extensions, but what I'm gonna do, you kind of pull that back and you can see that line goes like this. And usually I would put both of them on at the same time to make sure that they're even. All I do, I take the strip. The way that you can check it to see if they're even is how much space there is between the tape and your eyebrow. So it looks like I have it a little bit too up, and they're super sticky. You can take them on, put them off, take them on, put them off. For eyeshadow today, I am going to be using this Violet Voss I Love You Cherry Much Eyeshadow Palette. Open it up for you guys that way you can see what it looks like. So very like Valentine's Day vibes. So I kind of wanted to do like pink and gold moment. Before we get into that palette, I went ahead and mixed these P. Louise bases. I absolutely love these because they actually have really good coverage. They're pretty sticky. They're really going to help even out any discoloration, veins, anything that you may have on your eyes. I'm mixing the colors Rumour 6 and Rumour 0. It matches my skin tone like pretty much perfectly to kind of help brighten the shadows, especially when I'm doing a colorful look. I just take this white and put a few dots of it on there. When I take my brush, I kind of mix them together like this. And you guys can see it really just helps even out my canvas. The reason I really started using this is because it helps me with my eyeliner. My hands are way too shaky to do a straight line on their own. But I personally don't really like when the eyeshadow kind of goes down below. I don't like the way that looks. I know some people do their eyeshadow and then do their eyeliner. I think it looks really nice and clean when all of your eyeshadow is above the line. Start by taking the shade right down here, All About You. And this is a perfect skin tone shade for me, so I just use this as a transition to help my other shadows go down smoothly. This is a blending brush, but it's a little bit smaller and it's not super dense. And again, I'm trying to go all the way out to the tape with all of my product, because say you only do your crease to right here. Okay, well you have a wing all the way out here. It's gonna look weird if your eyeshadow stops. That's why it looks so weird over here. I never thought the day would come that I would wear eyeliner, guys. I really never thought the day would come. Now I'm going to take this Morphe M152. It's like a small eyeshadow brush. I use it when I want to do like a halo eye like this for packing on dark colors onto my lid. To take this color down here, it's called All About Cherry, this dark brown color, a chocolate cherry, not All About Cherry. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm just packing this onto my lid. Now, if you do not have hooded eyes, I'm gonna tell you what to do. You're gonna reverse the steps that I'm doing after this. The wonderful thing about having hooded eyes is that you can usually get away with not having to cut your crease, because look, when I put my eyes, all that skin goes away anyways. It is so hard to get like a really nice deep brown that you don't have to like pack and pack and pack. And it doesn't look ashy, because some browns, if they're not pigmented, it can just look like they're very splotchy and ashy, versus you guys can see this. It's very even all the way throughout. It's nice and creamy, buttery. I'm going to take this Morphe M506. This is a super small blending brush. The color right here, Very Sweet. And I'm just going to put this right where my crease and that color meet. So just to help kind of blend it out. Now, if you don't have hooded eyes, I would do this color first, then cut your crease, then put your dark brown on. But we're honestly really not even going for like a cut crease look. It's more of a halo eye. Even if you don't have hooded eyes, you could still probably be fine, because you're smoking this color out. And see, they're just so easy to blend. Like, you really don't have to try super hard, but you're also gonna get the pigment, and they don't look muddy when you blend them together, which I really appreciate. And the key to keeping your pigment on your eyelid is just blending the edge of the colors together. And I'm going to take this color up here, and what we're doing is we're creating layers. So now I'm gonna take this light pink, and where the edge of that dark pink is, I'm going to blend. And look, now you have like a super nice gradient. And I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just do the pink, but I think just it helps kind of blend your skin with the colors together, especially since it is a pinker color. Now, if this was like a nude color, it really wouldn't matter, because it's gonna blend into your skin anyways. I'll kind of give you guys an up close and show you guys what that looks like. They're just so buttery and smooth. Now, this is the fun part. You guys know I had to use this gold up here. This is Heart of Gold, and I'm gonna swirl that around. So this is what the color looks like. Super gorgeous. And now for my halo eyes, I just put whatever glitter or whatever color I'm using in the center, however big the width of the color part of my eye is. It's gonna ensure that both eyes are even. I'm not really swiping sideways yet. I'm more so swiping down. That way I can have my color in the center, because we are going to blend this out a little bit to give you that gradient effect. But again, you wanna make sure that your color pops and is nice and packed on where it's not gonna be touched. I'm not gonna dip back into the product because I already have some on my hand. So now what I do, I just use slight sweeping motions away from the center of my eye to help blend. Glitter kind of does the work for you, because when you're blending it out, it is a little bit more see-through. So you have that glitter and then your brown is gonna sit on top of it. So it's a little bit see-through on those parts where it's not super packed in. So it just looks a lot more blended. I'm gonna go ahead and do my inner corner shade because I usually always forget, don't know why, to use this color Affection. And you could always stop here if you don't like doing eyeliner. Ever since I've tried this hack, I cannot do makeup without eyeliner because it just pulls everything together. This isn't a super brand new high-end product, and it was not in my haul. I've had this in my drawer and I just never used it. HAUS Laboratories Matter Than Matte Liquid Eyeliner. And this is from Lady Gaga's makeup line, and this is just in the color Punk. So this is actually a felt tip. The nice thing about this too, you don't have to initially make your wing as long as you want it. So what I do, I go shorter at first and then I'll elongate it to make sure that they're pretty even, versus if you go super long, there's nothing you can do except for what I did, which is wipe it off. I don't take my eyeliner all the way into the very end part of my eye. I stop my eyeliner, the inner color part of my eye is, so right about here. It's kind of hard to see the vision now because it looks really muddy because you have that tape on there, but it's gonna be super, super nice and pointy. From a beginner standpoint, I really like this. I think it's really nice. It's really pigmented, so you don't have to go over it a million different times. Super black, super matte, really smooth and easy to glide onto the skin. And the good thing about these two is because they're so sticky, even if I feel like I wanna go back and change something, all I have to do is go ahead and stick them back on my eye. And boom. You have two wings. So to me, they look pretty even. If anything, this one's a little bit longer. I will probably never stop using these, because if you have something that makes it super easy and super precise for you to do something a certain way, why would you do anything different? I feel like this is every shade that you need to do any type of pinky, reddish, goldish look. You have a lot of transition colors. You also have a lot of options for shimmers. There's also a few different glitters. I think just this one and that one. You even have like a matte that has specks of glitter in it. I don't even know if you guys can see that right there, but yeah, I really like this palette, 10 out of 10. And then I also really like this HAUS Laboratories eyeliner. Now we can move on to my favorite part of makeup, which is complexion. We're gonna go ahead and prime the face. Brand new Rare Beauty Always an Optimist primer. This is the mini. It looks like the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Gel Moisturizer. Definitely feels like it has silicone in it. I know some people don't like using silicone, but me personally, I found that primers that have silicone in them do the best at filling in the pores and making everything feel really nice and smooth. It smells like skincare. I have a lot of redness on my face right now, guys. It's a really interesting texture. It's like a gel cream. It's not super lotiony, but it also has that gel feeling to it. Obviously, we'll be able to tell more of how pore filling it was once I actually put on my foundation. Skin feels smooth, feels nice. It's not super heavy on the face, which we love. I'm gonna use this with the foundation and the concealer. When I used them for the first time in my last full face and first impressions, they did a really good job of lasting a long time for it to be like a natural finish foundation. So I feel like with that primer, because it's supposed to be more like soft matte finish, pore filling, and that foundation, I think it'll look even better than it did. I was actually going to do a separate video for this foundation, but at this point it's so old and I hadn't had a request for it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it in here. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Foundation, and I got the color Medium Deep 26. When I tell you, this is probably the nicest packaging I have ever seen for a foundation. It has a pump, but it comes with a little cover. I actually have a new beauty tool. I'm gonna be using the Beauty Blender today. I'm gonna go ahead and re-wet it because it's been sitting for a second. When testing new foundations on this channel, we do half sponge, half brush. I told you guys in my haul that I went ahead and repurchased this. It doesn't say to shake it, but I'm gonna go ahead and shake it because it sounds really liquidy. I haven't used a Beauty Blender in probably over like a year or two. And when I was shopping the sale, it just came up and something literally came over me. I don't know what, because you guys know, I swear by e.l.f. sponges, they are the best in my opinion. But I was like, you know what? Let me see if I like this, because I think in my head I was like, okay, well, since I like the cheaper option better, I have to get rid of the more expensive option, which isn't true. Although liking the more affordable option is obviously better for your pocket. I think it's okay to like high-end products too. I'm gonna see how this compares with my lovely e.l.f. sponges. Oh my gosh, that is super runny. It looks very warm. It claims to have a medium coverage, and the first ingredient in it is water. It smells really strongly of alcohol. I love the Urban Decay All Nighter, and that probably is the thing that has the most alcohol in it that you can smell, but this is pretty heavy too. Definitely medium coverage because I can still see some of my redness and my spots peeking through. Beauty Blender, you're not letting me down yet. I think I prefer the e.l.f. sponges because they're a little bit bigger as far as surface area goes, so it's a little bit more quick. I'm gonna see how this builds. That was about 1.5 pumps on the face. I'm just gonna use the remainder of this. I'm not gonna go ahead and get any more product. It feels lightweight. I'm curious to see how it's going to do with a brush because usually you will get a little bit more coverage with a brush than a sponge. A sponge will soak up a little bit of your product. It looks all right. I mean, it's not amazing. I think I was expecting it to be amazing because of how expensive it was. Usually I can tell you my final judgment after I like powder my face and everything like that. I'm only gonna use 1.5 pumps on this side of my face because we are using a brush. This is like water. This is more lightweight than the NYX Total Drop foundation. They could have probably put this easily in a dropper because it's that runny. Some perfume is so fragrant that you can actually smell the alcohol. I think that's what I'm smelling because it smells like alcohol, but it smells like a mix of something and alcohol. If you're somebody that has super sensitive skin and you are very, very acne prone, I would try to stay away from products that have fragrance in them because some fragrances will irritate the crap out of your skin and you will break out. Keep in mind, I used only 1.5 pumps on this side and this was just one layer and I actually have a decent amount left. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can build this. Definitely feel like I got more coverage on this side with less product because I still have product left over. Yep, it doesn't look bad. It's not like amazing though. Did it dry down a little bit? Is it like a soft matte or natural? Right now it looks a little bit orange, but that's okay because we can fix that with concealer and powder and all that stuff. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys an up close look of what my skin looks like. So I have a lot of little bumps and stuff right now, but that's all right. And it did dry down a little bit. So I would say that this is like natural, soft, matte-ish finish. Usually the thing that helps the most if my foundation is a little bit off is doing concealer, a lighter concealer underneath the eyes. For concealer, I'm gonna be using this Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer, and this is in the color MD23. It looks really nice and it feels weighted. It's a glass bottle. It's actually pretty creamy. It's not super thick. I like when applicators are kind of tilted. If you guys can see, that's kind of tilted. So it makes it really easy to get it into that crevice of your under eye. Okay, she has coverage. I like that. And I actually really like the way that this Beauty Blender feels underneath the eyes. Sometimes with e.l.f. sponges, because they are so soft, they will leave little sponge marks on your face, which you can just correct. It's soft, but it has a little bit of stiffness to it, density to it. So it really helps give your product coverage. We're gonna go ahead and do cream blush and cream bronzer. So I'm gonna do cream bronzer first. We're gonna be using this super brand spanking new Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo, and I got the color She's Chiseled. This is what it looks like. It has a little plastic divider in it to keep the cream and the powder separated. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the cream right now before we set the face, and then I'm gonna use the powder after we set the face. I love the color of that. I kind of just place it down with a brush and then I like to blend it out with a sponge because it makes it look a little bit more natural. Super blendable even just with this brush. So I'll put on about that much. Go back in with my sponge. Get to a blank canvas and then add our dimensions back into it. I really like that. That was super, super creamy and really easy to work with. That reminded me a lot of the formula of the Fenty Beauty cream bronzers. I love those. They're so creamy and they have just the right amount of pigment, but they're also really blendable. Now we're going to do cream blush. And for cream blush, this is also brand spanking new. This is the NARS Air Matte Blush in the color Torch. Hi! The texture on this is really interesting. It's like a moussey texture, so I'm really not sure what to use to apply this. So I'm just gonna take about that much. Ew. Okay, I gotta show you guys this up close. So look, I think it's because the texture of it, it is raised. Like it's not sinking into the skin like other cream blush does. It's sitting on top. It looks like what my foundation does when it starts to separate at the end of the day. I'm gonna go ahead, let's see if we can use a sponge. Okay, now see when you use the sponge, pretty much all of the color is gone. You guys see the texture in there? That's what it looked like on my face. I'm gonna try a sponge. This is really sheer, but it claims to be sheer, so I'm not gonna knock it for that. It looks better once you build it up. You can tell the difference between this side and this side. Do not apply it with a brush. It does so much better with a sponge. It's a really pretty color, and that's the thing about cream blushes. I did not use them for the longest time because they can be really intimidating, because when you look at this in the pan, you're like, oh my gosh, I do not want that to go on my face. But then it looks like this on the face. So it's actually a really nice, pretty wash of color. Using this e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush before I set underneath my eyes, especially when I do my cream products, I really like to immediately set underneath my eyes, but when I do like cream blush and cream bronzer, I really can't do that. Now it is time to set underneath the eyes, and I'm probably the most excited to try this product. This is the TATCHA Silk Setting Powder. It's a really special component. So you see underneath this, it's raised and there's holes underneath it. That's how the product comes out. I'm gonna try one side with a sponge and one side with a brush. I tend to like using a sponge underneath the eyes because it allows the product to kind of really soak into the skin and become one with that concealer, versus I feel like when I'm using a brush, it kind of just sits on top of whatever I'm putting it on top of and not really melting together. Oh no. I swear to you, this has sheen in it. You can't tell. I have to like move my face a certain way, but I swear to you, that had sheen. Oh my gosh, I can't. Why can't I just get like a matte setting powder? I'm also using this to set my whole face, so we're gonna see if this has flashback or anything like that. No, y'all, this has sheen in it. It has little tiny specks of shimmer in it. No, we do not like that. When I'm setting my face, girl, I don't want any extra dimension added. Like, we want to flatten this thing out and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I really thought I was seeing things. Like, they really tried to play me. It doesn't look bad, but I really do not appreciate the fact that there is straight up sheen in this. I really feel like that did not even mattify anything. It just kind of like came and added glitter. How dare you make something that expensive and it perform like this? This is a no for me because I simply will not tolerate sheen in powder. The only powder that I like that has shimmer in it is the Halo Glow Setting Powder, and that isn't, it's so hard to describe. It's not even shimmer. It's like the powder itself is actually kind of glowy. I don't know. I don't even like shimmer in my blush half the time. I'll try to zoom in and show you guys, but like right around here, it's like looking super patchy. This is suddenly going downhill. I feel like I don't look awake enough, so I actually went ahead and picked up this BAREMINERALS. This is a powder concealer. Have you ever heard of that? A powder concealer. And it's supposed to be an eye brightener. So this is in the color Well Rested. They had a couple other colors, but I saw Juicy Jazz use this one, and y'all know pretty much anything she says is good, I will try. Now, the reason I'm not using this alone is because she said she really doesn't like the way that it performs on its own. She uses it as more of like a topper. So I am gonna go ahead and use it on its own off camera. I'm able to test more products if I like layer. Ooh, okay, that may be a little too much. Definitely brightens. That's not even a question. This side versus this side. My under eyes are just looking weird, and I think it's because I'm trying to do a little bit too much right now. I do like the fact that it physically does brighten. I'm gonna use a brush on the other side. I'm gonna dip back into this right here. That way I can try the powder. Guys, underneath my eyeballs, I can't look at all that. Don't know if this is new or not, but I was so in love with this when I saw it. This is the Pure Skin Perfecting Powder. This is the Blushing Act Matte Blush in the color Berry Beautiful. First of all, let's talk about the packaging on this. And then this is what it looks like. So pretty. When I put the blush on, it was fine, but then when I put translucent powder on top of it, it went away. So I can't even imagine what it would do if it had colored powder, because usually I would expect that from a colored powder for the color to kind of obviously diffuse a little bit. From translucent, you should pretty much look the same. Oh, I like that. And it smells good. It smells sweet. This part of my sponge and just diffuse that a little bit. So a little goes a long way because I only dipped into that once, and I definitely feel like I used a lot. We got the pink shirt and the pink eyes, so you know, might as well. I'm gonna run this color Berry Sweet right here, this pink color and this chocolate cherry color, and I'm gonna mix those together and put them on my lower lash line. We have two new lip products, but they are Drugstore. NYX Slide On Glide On Waterproof Extreme Pencil, and this is in the color Intimidate. That is a really pretty nude color. And what I like about these, although you do have to sharpen them, it's not like a wooden pencil. It's more of like a plastic type of hybrid, so it's really easy to sharpen. I really like that. This is the Flower Beauty Scribble Stick, and it says it's for eyes and lips, and this is in the color Tickle Me Pink. That's light. Ew. Guys, literally nothing can go good in my life. Ugh. Okay, well, and it looked ashy. Did you guys see that? It looked like ashy and patchy. All right, guys, this is the finished look. I feel so conflicted because this really was like 50-50. Half the products were really good. The other half definitely could have went without. So I'm gonna do like a little rapid review for you guys. I don't know how I feel about this. I think I'm gonna have to try to do a couple of different things with this. Try it with some other products. Let me know if you guys use anything like a wax for your eyebrows, and let me know what you do, like what your routine is. Do you use just that? Do you use it with other products? Eyebrow pencil I really, really liked, especially when it was just on its own and I took everything off. It was actually really easy to blend in. I like the color. Eyeshadow palette, really, really liked this. The best thing about this look was the eyes, which usually is weird because my favorite part of makeup is complexion, but today changed a little bit. The primer was all right. I feel like this, again, just did not get a fair shot because of with everything else that was going on, but it felt good going onto the skin. It felt a lot like the e.l.f. Mineral Face Primer, but just a little bit more jelly-like. Foundation wasn't bad. It's very, very heavily fragranced. I don't know if it's the alcohol or just the fragrance itself. I like the consistency of this. I also like the color. HAUS really good coverage. Both very nice packaging. So again, I'm gonna try this out with a couple different products. It was all right. You think about how much these are, I feel like I should have like loved them a little bit more right off the bat. Some products you just kind of have to play around with. Some products don't like certain products, and that's fine as long as it works with the products that it likes. This was probably one of my like top 5 from this video. I really, really love this. I think that it is the perfect color for me. It's dark enough to where you guys can tell that I have a little bit of dimension, and it was really easy to blend out. And I think the two pair really nice on top of each other. Patrick Ta always kills it with the packaging. I don't know how I feel about this. The only reason you can tell that I have blush on is because I paired it with something else. But if you like super, super sheer blush, you're not somebody who sets your face and you can just walk out the house with no setting powder, I think that you would like this. But anytime you like try to maneuver it, it does not like to be messed with. This was literally one of my least favorite things in this video. Bottom 3, easily. If you're somebody that likes shimmer and sheen, maybe you'll like this, but I really feel like it didn't even set my face. I don't look super matte or anything like that. It just kind of existed. I also really, really like this eyeliner. I thought it was super user friendly. You guys can tell it's super black and pigmented, so I liked this. I'm just gonna have to try with products with powders that I like and also on its own, but you guys could tell physically that it did brighten. Love this blush. If you are my skin tone, you will love this. Like, you guys can see how pigmented and nice and pretty it is, and a little goes a long way. You can probably dip once and do both your cheeks like I did, and I still have like a little bit too much on. And I don't know, I just like the fact that it's like a marble effect. It's a little bit different. Beauty blender, I think you've redeemed yourself. I really like this. I'll definitely be using this in the future. I don't know if I'll buy another one. This and the e.l.f. sponge are very comparable. The only two things that really stick out to me the most, this one is a little bit more dense, which is actually a plus because it is gonna give you a little bit more coverage. I also like how pointed this was. I really thought that it was nice and easy to get underneath the eyes, and also because it is a little bit more firm, it did give a little bit more coverage. I really, really love this lip liner. I have this in a couple other colors, but this is the matte version of it. I really like this. This is like the perfect nude color. This is getting thrown in the trash. I don't know if it's just the color, if it's the formula. All right, guys, that is it in today's video. Let me know what you think is the product that performed the best in this video. If you have tried any of these products and you love any of these products, please let me know. If you hate any of them and you haven't had a good experience with them, please also let me know, because I like to see if I have similar experiences to you guys. It makes me feel like more validated in me not liking something when I see other people don't like it either. I don't feel as crazy. If you guys like these videos, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. I will see you guys in a couple of days. Bye.